Okay, Megan, it is Friday, April 23rd, 2021, and I don't really know what the topic was at the top of the show. It was some sort of buffet of COVID related things. Vaccinations, masks. I don't really know what the focus was supposed to be, but then you showed a video of some lady screaming at a school board meeting in Georgia about take these masks off my children. Um, and of course, you agree with the anti-science Karen lady um, about you know kids in schools and their mental health. And you know, it seems pretty apparent that you should have spent less time in high school rabble rousing and getting yourself sent to detention and more time in science class. It's confusing. It's so confusing of all the different rules, and it's different from state to state, and it's hard to know, and blah blah blah. Um, and you know, part of the reason it's different all over the place is because we didn't start with a national mandate because of the orange fucker that was in the White House screwing this whole thing up from the very beginning. And you could argue that why didn't Biden put one in? It's already too political now. So it's like an edict from him isn't going to mean a goddamn thing to the Trumpicans. So it's just not going to. We've lost that battle. He's trying to win people over locally. But anyway, so you side with anti-science Karen screaming about children. She's in like northeast suburban Atlanta, right, in Georgia. Big lawns, lots of parkland. Kids are allowed to, get together. They're not, nobody, we haven't been locked inside our houses for a year. And there's enough information we've known since last summer. Clearly, outside is better. If you're staying outside, you don't want to be this close, and you should still wear a mask, but you can still get together. It's not that hard to figure out ways to, for kids to play together outside. And you talk about, how stressful the remote schooling is. You know what's more stressful to kids is screaming angry parents who just refuse to learn anything and adjust based on scientific fact. That angry Karen lady cannot possibly be a very effective parent if she's just railing against science. Because kids do get it and kids do transmit it. And now these variants making it even worse. So, Joyce even said it. She's like, I'm not confused. Anyone, what's your phrase? Anyone with two brain cells could figure it out. It's not that difficult. Has the messaging been spectacular? No. Has the information been enough to make valuable, reliable, safe decisions for you and your family? Yes. But, there's a whole group of people, since this whole thing was politicized from the beginning, who just don't want to believe any of it. And they're just going to be mad and, I want to go back to supercuts. And I'm sure you're just dying to pound some, sex on the beach shots at Flavortown. But you did say, you thought your own daughter might think that she's the only baby in the world because you haven't been able to have a play date. So you haven't exposed your daughter to other children, but you want parents to send their kids to school indoor unmasked. That's not the best logic either, Megan. I also have noticed that, you used to say, when it's your turn, you're going to get vaccinated, and it's your turn's here. Everybody's eligible. I haven't seen you talk about your vaccination experience yet, unless you're one with hesitancy. So that's insufferable. Then, oh, Caitlyn Jenner's going to run for governor of California. Whoop de fucking do. She doesn't have a prayer. Although I said that about Trump, so who knows? And of course, your response to it is, more power to her, blah, blah, blah. And then all my friends are leaving California because there's homelessness. Oh my God. Part of that has to do with the locality. Part of that has to do with the weather. I'll tell you a little story, Megan. When I lived in Vancouver, British Columbia, other provinces used to just give homeless people a one-way bus ticket to Vancouver because the winters were really mild there and they could live outside all year. That was their solution. So if you live in a nice climate area, you're going to have a homeless issue that's different than, a cold weather spot. Doesn't mean you shouldn't deal with it, but I'm just little story. Yeah, so all your friends are leaving California in droves, and you do a little, your political analysis of Caitlyn Jenner's chances if she's going to be a Trumpian or a traditional Republican. I don't think there is such a thing as a traditional Republican anymore. I think you're all fucking nuts now. But yeah, who gives a flying fuck about Caitlyn Jenner? But stranger things have happened. So we'll see. And then, of course, you ask Congresswoman Cori Bush about. You don't ask. You do your typical thing where you give your opinion in the monologue that somehow ends up with a question of, "Do you agree?" Biden promised blah 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 blah, and he's not doing it, and blah 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 blah. And are you concerned? Blah blah. And she's like, "Well, you know what? We're working on it." So, shh. Anyway, all around a typical day for Miss Meghan in a stupid ass fishtail add-on hair thing, and like you've had a whole like Easter peep thing going on all week in your like quilted tops. It's been a rough week.